Thanks for joining me, Scott Ryan. I was really encouraged by some of the things that I was hearing today on the Glenn Beck show. Glenn was talking about, first of all, how we need to hang together. And that's something that it's been my mantra as well, that we need to, in these times, we need to hang together or hang separately, as Ben Franklin said during the American Revolution. Of course, we do not advocate revolution in the sense that we're calling for war. The only person that wants civil war is Barack Hussein Obama. He's hell-bent on getting it, but it's insane. Just like our founding fathers, it took them decades of presenting their remonstrances, going before the king and going before Parliament, begging and pleading their case. Nobody in their right mind wanted revolution back then. They wanted to be reconciled. They saw themselves as British citizens. But to this day, of course, I'm not saying that anybody needs to have civil war. I do believe that Barack Obama wants civil war. He's doing whatever he can to push it. But even in the worst situation, there is no need for civil war if we have states that will stand up to the federal government, states that just say, look, we're living by the Constitution. We will not, for example, participate when Nero tells us, doctors, you have to perform abortions, because that is going to happen. When Nero tells us, pastors, Christian churches, you are homophobes, you are terrorists, unless you perform homosexual marriages. You must bow before the idols. You must worship me, not your God. Only then, and it will come to that point, the states need to stand up for their citizens, for their doctors, for their clergy, for everyone virtually. When the federal government says you must surrender your constitutional rights, you must surrender your free speech, you must surrender your right to bear arms, we're coming for it. Then the state steps in, and the state does not have to declare war like in the Civil War. Nobody needs to secede from the Union. There's no need for that. I mean, the South, the southern states fired on Fort Sumter and gave Lincoln what he wanted. And I am not anti-Lincoln. I'm not one of these people that bashes Lincoln. I mean, I believe that Lincoln had some contradictions, but also history. There are many historians that distort or just ignorant of the real Lincoln and take him out of context. But the South did, even though I would side with the Union today because the rectitude was at that time on God's side. The Union was on God's side then, just as now the Southern Bible Belt states, many of which are contiguous, but not all. Some in the West, in the Northwest, and some in the Midwest, obviously not contiguous. But those states that are standing up against Obama are on God's side. The abomination back in the 1850s, state rights aside, looking at the moral issues, what a Christian would stand for, the abolitionists, of which I would be, they were on the side of righteousness. But when the time comes, and it is coming quickly, where this abomination, this would-be Nero in Washington, D.C., comes up and tells the people of this country that they have to violate their consciousness, that they have to commit immoral acts in order to be in harmony with federal law, despite the fact that they are assaulting the Constitution. It is they who seceded, because the Union is not the government. The Union is not geographical. The Union is a set of beliefs, not a set of buildings. They are the Declaration of Independence. The Union is the Constitution, in the Bill of Rights. It is those principles and those principles alone that we were founded by our Creator with inalienable rights, life, liberty, property, the pursuit of happiness, things that God gave us and that government or human tribunals cannot take. So what happens when the people refuse, when the doctors refuse to commit abortions, when the people refuse to surrender their weapons, when the pastors refuse to marry homosexuals, when the people are asked to surrender all of their liberties and their freedom of speech? What happens? The state government must step in and defend, not secede, defend the Constitution of the United States. They can pretend whatever they want, but when they are in violation of the Constitution, we're not seceding. We have no reason to secede. They seceded. The states just defend. And what are they going to do? Are they going to declare war? Is Obama going to send in the troops against the states and the state governments and the local governments and the sheriffs? God is in control at that point. We do not bow to the idols of Nero. We do not worship Mammon. And we just simply abide by the Constitution of the United States and let the chips fall where they may. But the key is we've got to hang together. We're hanging separately when it comes down to that. If you are living, and I've been saying this for years now, pleading, if you are living in a blue state, a hopelessly blue state, you're begging to be plundered, because when it all comes down to it, we've got to be in states where the government is strong, and we need to further buttress them. We need people to leave those blue states that are hopelessly blue and come south, come to Florida, come to South Carolina, come to Alabama, come to Georgia, come to Texas, Mississippi. We've got to go where we are contiguous, preferably not landlocked. We need good people to leave those states, not liberals who've destroyed it, like the New Yorkers who come here to Palm Beach County where I reside. Despite that, Florida is a conservative state. We've controlled the House and the House, the Senate, and the governorship for the past couple decades. We've named our turnpike after Ronald Wilson Reagan, and I'm proud of that, despite the cesspool of New Yorkers and New Jersey liberals. I mean, there's some really great New Yorkers, great friends from New York who are conservatives, but the vast majority, your Debbie Wasserman Schultzes and your Wexlers and people of that ilk who have destroyed, have raped and fleeced New York and New Jersey and New England states. They've raped and plundered, and then they came here to do the same thing, and they're doing it. It's like a Palm Beach County and Miami-Dade are like a cancerous tumor, but the rest of the state is conservative, and we need more like-minded people. Flee those blue states, because your state is not going to stand up to you, and they are going to hand you right over. They are going to join with Obama and plunder you. If you don't have to be there, get out of there. Come join us. Come and don't just live here, but come here and run for local office. Run for county, state. Let's strengthen like never before. This is one of the most important components of all. And also, Glenn Beck was talking today about, he didn't mention who the friend was with whom he discussed, but as I've said here in videos, he said the same thing, that he loves Mark Levin's plan, and I do too. I mean, that is exactly what we need. But he was concerned about the time, because at the rate of destruction and sabotage, we don't have 10 years. There's no way we have 10. We're lucky if we have 2 years. So we need that to do that, but we need people in hopelessly blue states to come south and further Mark Levin's plan, expedite it. Expedite, further strengthen these southern states. We've got to strengthen them, because if the stronger these states are, the more solid conservative, the more solid red they are, the quicker it's going to happen. But we need to we need to get together, we need to pull together, we need to maintain our decency and God-fearing leadership. We need to be the shining city on the hill, in what used to be the shining city in the hill. The hill may be moving and it may be getting smaller, but we need to maintain that and be a beacon. and we will stand. We will not declare war. We will not secede. We don't have to. If they want to come at us, we will stand by the Constitution, period, as I said several months ago in this clip. We need to come together. We need to stack, and these state and local legislatures, we're not talking about secession. We're talking about abiding and protecting us. We live by the Constitution of the United States of America. The United States of America may be shrinking because Barack Obama has already seceded from America. He has seceded from the Union when he seceded from the Constitution. America is that Constitution, that body of fundamental principles, not geography, not state borders. America has been seceded from by Barack Obama. And I say come together in the South, and we will live under the Constitution whether they like it or not. And our states will protect it. And anything that they do or say that encroaches upon that, they ignore. The states protect us as we live by the Constitution. No seceding. No need to secede. It's up to them. What they do is what they do. This is different. I'm not talking Civil War. The South fired on Fort Sumter. That's what gave the North the ability. That's basically what started the Civil War. And the North came, that was their excuse. They were thrilled that the South demanded that they vacate Fort Sumter and fired upon them. We're not firing upon anyone. We don't advocate it. We will live by the Constitution. If that had not happened before, who knows what the outcome would have been. If they want to go to court, that's fine. But we will live by the Constitution. And no matter what branch of government sides with this heretical, treasonous administration, we will live by the Constitution of the United States. As for me, I know not what other courses others may take, but give me liberty or give me death. We will live by the Constitution. Period. I want to echo that. There's no time to mess around. There's no time to live in denial. There's no time, like Glenn was talking about, we need to change our habits and stop wasting time. All the frivolous things that we will regret for the rest of our lives if we don't stop and focus on the reality right now and press on and get the work done. Thank you for joining me. I'm Scott Ryan. Kind of reminds me of an inspirational speech, a scene out of the movie Gods and Generals. This we are the 1st Brigade, people. We need to press on, and we need to win.
Throughout the broad extent of the country through which you have marched, by your respect for the rights and property of others, you have always shown you are soldiers, not only to defend, but able and willing both to defend and protect. You've already won a brilliant reputation throughout the Army of the whole Confederacy, and I trust in the future by your deeds in the field and by the assistance of the same kind Providence who has hitherto favored our cause, you will win more victories and add luster to the reputation you now enjoy. You already gained a proud position in the future history of this, our 2nd War of Independence. I shall look with anxiety to your future movements, and I trust whenever I shall hear of the 1st Brigade on the field of battle, it will be of still nobler deeds achieved and higher reputation won. In the Army of the Shenandoah, you are the 1st Brigade. In the Army of the Potomac, you were the 1st Brigade. In the 2nd Corps of this Army, you are the 1st Brigade. You are the 1st Brigade in the affections of your general. And I hope by your future deeds and bearing, you will be handed down to posterity as the 1st Brigade in this, our 2nd War of Independence. Godspeed.
Thank you for joining me. I'm Scott Ryan.